I appreciate a good movie. I don't really get to watch that many movies, but I saw one recently, and there was a scene in that movie that depicted an eviction for a family. There was a young single father and his little boy, maybe 13, 14 years old, and then his mom was living with him in this house too, and it had been the house that he'd grown up in, and this eviction scene was just chilling because the residents of the home didn't realize it was going to happen. The doorbell just rings, and there's a couple law enforcement officers there, and there's a real estate professional, and they're processing the court's documents. It's lawful. It's been approved by a judge, and the residents of the home are just shocked that this has happened, and must be some mistake, and they're going through a process where it's escalating, and as they're realizing that yes, this is happening, and as these two police officers and this real estate professional are not going away, and this is really going to take place, and they're really getting kicked out of their home that this young father had been raised in. As a viewer of this movie, the tension in me was rising up, and I was just feeling that stress, that financial stress. I think many of us at least, have probably experienced financial stress in our lives, and maybe we haven't been evicted from our homes, but lots of people have. Real people have lived through something that movie was just reenacting, and it gave me a couple feelings. Number one was just the sense of that financial stress, and I remember 1998, which was my wife Terry and it was our lowest year financially, and we were trying some things entrepreneurially, and they weren't working, and we were bottoming out, and that stress is palpable. I mean, it just presses on your chest. But the other emotion that I got watching that movie was, it made me so proud of what we do at Life Leadership with our financial fitness suite of products. Because what we do is we offer people financial literacy, a financial education, where if they take the principles that we teach and apply even a handful of them, they can avoid ever having to feel like that young family in that movie must have felt, and people like that in real life feel when they get that type of financial calamity in their lives. We teach the offense, the defense, and the playing field of personal finance. All three. Defense means get out of debt, stay out of debt, get off of the balance sheets of other people, stop being an asset to other people and become your own asset instead of your own liability. Offense means launch a business, add additional streams of income, and or invest in what you already do to make money and max that out and really, really prosper at what you do and become good at it. And then finally, the playing field educates you on the rules of money, the different things that are happening in the environment around your money that affect what you can afford and how your savings work and how your investments work over time, and the fact that inflation rates and interest rates and all these different things are all having an impact on your financial future. And so we, with the Financial Fitness Suite of products, we teach all three, and they're critical. All three must go together. You can't just simply get out of debt and then keep doing what you're doing offensively. On the other hand, you can't launch a big offense with a terrible defense. That strategy never wins in professional sports, and it doesn't win in personal finance either. And on the third one, you can't forget the environment, the playing field, the weather, the referees that have an impact on your personal wealth. Now, one of the biggest things that we see is that people are raised without any sort of a correct understanding of money or what it's really for. Many of us, if you're like me, you grow up and you learn that the word afford is a huge consideration in your life. And we can kind of get taught that money is to buy things that we want. If we want more things, we have to go make more money and exchange it for what we want. And then if we want more things, we go get more money and exchange it for what we want. And in our modern society, we're even taught to spend beyond that and actually use credit to expand what you can buy beyond what you can actually afford. And we're taught things like, if you can afford the payment, you can afford the purchase. And that leads to a deeper and deeper ditch of debt, to the point where if anything goes wrong, we could end up like that family in that movie, in that eviction scene. And so I'm very proud of what we teach, because it's almost daily that I receive a message, either through email or through some kind of voicemail or even a video sometimes, of people who have used our products and they've gotten entirely 100% out of consumer debt. We're really proud of that. But we also teach offense, and I really love the offensive side of the financial game, because money is actually not something you're just supposed to use to exchange for what you want. Money is much bigger than that. It's a stewardship. It's a responsibility. It can provide security and safety for you and your family. It's also supposed to fund your life's purpose, what you're supposed to accomplish with all the God-given gifts and talents that you've been born with. You're supposed to use money to invest it in yourself to maximize your contribution to the world. You're supposed to give some of it away too, with generosity, without any strings attached, and whether or not there's a tax deduction tied to it or not. And so money is way more than something to be used as a medium of exchange for your short-term gratification and material wants. It's actually supposed to be used long-term to amplify your contribution to the ones that you love and the causes that you love. Therefore, one of the things that we teach in our financial programs is to start accumulating assets over time. And we have something we designed to help kind of understand the priority or the order in which you should do that, called the U Incorporated hierarchy. The U Incorporated hierarchy. And it's shaped like a triangle or a hierarchy, but a pyramid. It's a pyramid structure. And what we teach you is the bottom layer is the most important. It's your priority, and that's where most of your investing should go. The best investment you'll ever make is you. What you do to earn your money as your primary source. Your business, your career, your potential, your education, your ability, your credentials. The best investment you'll ever make is you, because you're entirely in control and in charge of you. Then you start working your way up that hierarchy, that U Incorporated hierarchy, that pyramid shape, to things that are a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more risky perhaps, and they come later as priorities. And of course it goes through things like savings and calamity protection, survival preparation, so just some little considerations for that, but then accumulating some cash and getting some gold and learning how to invest in precious metals and freezing the fruit of some of your wealth in a proper store of money, a proper store of wealth, and then diversifying your investments and starting to get into the bond market a little bit and get into stocks and buy some equities, and then at the very top maybe speculate on some of the more complicated investments, the more sophisticated and yes, more risky investments. But the overall picture is that money is meant for something more than just an immediate exchange for what we want. Instead, over the course of our life, and if you're young, I hope you get this message early and begin applying it early. Because as you earn money, always pay yourself first, siphon some off of everything that you do, give some of that away, siphon some off, pay yourself first, and start accumulating assets. The sooner you can start accumulating assets that accumulate more cash flow for you, the faster you can get the power of compounding working for you. And as you start to accumulate more and more, you can start filling in your collection of assets, called a portfolio of assets. You can start working your way up that pyramid shape, up that U Incorporated hierarchy, and accumulating more and more assets that in turn bring you back more assets. If you look at how a lot of the fortunes have been built in the world, the legal, ethical, moral, contributory fortunes, that's how they've been built. The accumulation over time of cash flow producing assets. Ultimately, that's what we're trying to accomplish when we teach people the art of financial fitness, and when we go what we call beyond financial fitness and really teach you how to accumulate assets that can set you up over the course of your life, not just to live a dream lifestyle, which of course you can live on just a small percentage of that if you do it right, but also to maximize your contribution in this life that you've been given to live. And that's why we say that we want to help you live the life you've always wanted. And to do that, we've got to help you establish a financial foundation that's solid and build the base of that hierarchy or that pyramid shape and start accumulating assets up through those different levels. If you're interested, dig into the financial fitness suite of products. We have a whole bunch of different products that teach this stuff, and it can apply at a very young age. So as soon as you can possibly get involved in accumulating assets over the course of your life, you will be playing the money game to win and live the life you've always wanted.